Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Under Further Review with me, Noel Granada. In these segments, I'll be looking at each team going into the 2013 season. I'll be looking at what happened last year, the off-season, my favorite picks from the draft, player position, and can they make the playoffs. Today on my board, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. So let's quickly look at what happened last year. Well, they went 10-7. Made the playoffs as a wild card, but were out very early, losing to the Houston Texans in the first round. First time in 30 years they've made it in the playoffs back-to-back, though, which is a good sign. A.J. Green had another great year, and the offense ranked 22nd, while the defense ranked 6th. The offseason. Well, the Bengals didn't lose too much this season as far as keeping the team goes. Fans have a good reason to be excited if I were them. This year, though, they need quarterback Andy Dalton to perform better, though. I have liked his progress, and this needs to be a breakout year for him as far as if they make the playoffs, he needs to perform better. First things that needs to go, though, are his interceptions. He had 16 last year, and that won't cut it for a team that looks very promisingly on the rise. The rushing attack could be a little better this offseason and could be worked on. And they added rookie Giovanni Bernard to help pick up some of the speed on the outside and help the load on Ben Jarvis Green-Ellis. I think the offense could be very much improved this offseason, along with a stout defense that just looks fantastic going into 2013. Defense looks to stay, actually, where it's just been adding a veteran James Harrison to the linebacking corps. So they racked up 51 sacks last year, so I think the numbers could go up in this category. I think head coach Marvin Lewis is heading in the right direction as this team is starting to glimmer in the light. Now, my favorite picks from the draft. Well, I really like the Bengals draft picks they got this year. I think they really hit it on their first two picks with tight end Tyler Eifert and running back Giovanni Bernard. Eifert brings a new dimension to the Bengals offense, who will play along with Jermaine Gresham. I really like Gresham too, so Eifert has nice soft hands, uses his frame to get open, and will be a threat on the Bengals offense. So the Bengals could easily go a 2-tight-end set like the Patriots did with Hernandez and Gronkowski. He will need to learn how to run block better, but lots of positives for him. Giovanni Bernard brings a new style of running back to the team who can catch the ball on the outside and has the speed. So the Bengals have a nice little 1-2 punch in Ellis and Bernard. But Bernard has been dealing with the little issues that he in college about injuries, so that could be a factor. Other than that, I expect these guys to start producing. Positions. Quarterback. Well, Dalton finished with a QB rating of 87.4 last year. As he was efficient, he didn't handle the ball so well, so I think he needs to learn to get rid of the ball more and stop taking so many sacks when he's under pressure. Also, the deep ball could get better as he's had problems with getting the ball down the field. But I honestly see nothing but a talented guy who's still a work in progress but has a lot of upside more than the downside. He's just improving every year. They also got backups John Skelton from the Cardinals to back him up along with Josh Johnson. Running backs. Ben Jarvis Green-Ellis turned into a workhorse for the Bengals last year as he rushed for 1,094 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was excellent in short yardage situations and in the red zone. Now with Giovanni Bernard, after being drafted to the Bengals, hopefully they can get a speedy kind of back in the backfield and maybe lessen the carries for Ellis. I kind of like what they're doing here. Wide receivers. A.J. Green is ridiculous. The man caught 97 passes for 1,350 yards and 11 touchdowns just in his 2012 season. Now, the problem with this is that no one else is stepping up and being as productive as he is. So, someone needs to be that number 2 guy. I think Jermaine Gresham was that guy last year, but, I mean, it needs to be the wideouts in particular that need to step up behind A.J. Green. But Jermaine Gresham is a key player in the offense, and I think him and Tyler Eifert will tear it up this year. I see a lot of positives for these guys. Offensive line. Well, this line didn't par up so bad last year and looks to be getting a little bit better going into this year. I'm interested to see in who will be playing center this year between Kyle Cook and Trevor Robinson. Cook has been the starter in most recent years, but Robinson filled in for Cook when he went down with injuries last year and played well. So we'll see in training camp. Defensive line. The defensive strives on this line. The line is very dominant as they racked up just 42 sacks alone with the line. Geno Atkins, Damada Pecco, Carlos Dunlap, and Michael Johnson are one tough force linebackers. While the Bengals kept Ray Maluga to play middle linebackers, that means Vontaze Burfict will play the weak side. And they also bring in ex-Steeler James Harrison playing on the strong side. This looks to be one sturdy linebacking unit, except there's a lot of unproven talent behind them, so staying healthy seems to be a must. Secondary. Leon Hall and Terrence Newman are solid and are solidified at the corner positions for this year. Now, the big question is kind of in the secondary. Reggie Nielsen looks to be the starter as he's had 7 picks in over 2 seasons, but it really comes down to Taylor Mays and Sean Williams, who will be battling in training camp at the other safety. But all in all, I think the secondary should be fine. Special teams. Mike Nugent was 19 of 23 in field goals attempts last year and proves to be just a solid kicker. Punter Kevin Huber has shown that he can be solid too, and returners look to be going towards Brandon Tate this year. Can they make the playoffs? Yes, and here's why. First of all, I think this team wins the division. With back-to-back playoff appearances, I think there will be a big upswing for the Bengals' 3rd time in a row for a playoff spot. With just a dominant defense which ranks high up with one of the best and a rising offense, I just can't see this team not making the playoffs. Yeah, sure, they finished 22nd in offense last year, and Dalton was sacked 56 times, but I think this year they will find the red zone more often and get things rolling. Also, this is an experienced team now, and lots of starters are returning from last year. And of course, I'm a believer in Andy Dalton. This year, though, this needs to be the year that he gets it done, because he's obviously been criticized about his performances in the playoffs, which had many people wondering, does this guy have the ability to put the Bengals on his back and win? So that needs to be figured out sometime this season. But I'm a believer in the 3rd time's a charm saying, and Dalton could be stepping in a more perfect situation to quiet the doubters. This team is eager to win, and so are the fans. So the city of Cincy is ready for a fun run this year heading into the playoffs. And with that, my football fans, ends my segment on the Cincinnati Bengals. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave any comments below in my little box below this video and subscribe to my page. Next team I'll probably be taking on will be the Cleveland Browns. See you later, football folks.